All right, we're going to start on 1.2 and we're going to start learning about inequalities. So these are probably things you've used before, but maybe you have not used that vocabulary word. So we've really got to understand that vocabulary word and understand when it says write an inequality, what that means. So our first vocabulary word is inequality. So we're going to get that in our vocabulary section and make sure you have the definition as well. You cannot just have the word, it has to have a definition. So an inequality is going to show that relationship between two numbers that are not equal. So if we have 7 and 5, we know those are not the same. We're going to use those inequality signs to show which one is bigger and which one is smaller. So an inequality shows that relationship. And we're going to break down that word, inequality. Actually gonna, add, maybe not, okay. It, we'll just add to the end of there. So an inequality, that literally means if we break it up, right? We know that word equality. It means it's the same, it's equal. If it is unequal, that prefix means not. In means not. It is not equal. That word inequality literally means not equal. So we are showing which one is bigger, which one is smaller. So make sure you have that information where it needs to go on your notes. So we show the inequalities by using less than and greater than signs. So this first one we come to has the smaller point. It only has 1 point here. That's less than this side. So this number should be less than this one. And here's our greater than sign. We come to the bigger side first. It has 2 points. That's more than 1 point over here. This number is greater than this one. So those are the two types of inequalities that we have. And I want you to make yourself a note here. You can put this in your own words. You read it how you, or you say it how you read it. So whichever one you come to first, oh, this one, I came to the bigger side. So this is a greater than symbol. This number should be greater than this number on this side. If I'm reading this, here's a number. Oh, I come to a less than. This number is less than this one. So you say it like you read it. Just as you come to it, you can also read it backwards. So that might be a note to yourself. So you also read it backwards. So if I read backwards, I could say this number is greater than this number. This number is less than this number. So whichever way, whatever you come to first, whether you're going forward or backward, that's how you say it. So number lines can help us compare numbers to write the inequality. So go ahead and just draw yourself a quick little number line here. And we're going to plot on it -4 and 4. So here's -4 and here's +4. And knowing that we put negatives on the left, we know the left is always going to be smaller and the right is always going to be bigger. So make sure you also include those words there. So the left is smaller, the right is always bigger. Even if I have two negative numbers, if I have -9 and -8, so it sounds like 9 is bigger, but I know because it's left, it's actually smaller, right? I have less of that. And this one is bigger because it's more to the right. Right is bigger, left is smaller. So that could be another note to yourself if you'd like. So we're going to use the number line and we're going to do a few examples here. So our first one, we have -6 and +6. And I know because one is positive, that has to be bigger. So we can always check, is one positive, is one negative? The positive one will always be bigger, right? This is more to the right. So I open it up, big side to the bigger number. So this reads -6 is less than 6. So make sure you have that example written down. So our next one says 3. So 3 and -8. I can see 3 is more to the right. So I open it up to the 3. 3 is greater than -8. So our next example has -9 and 5. I can see 5's to the right, so 5 is greater. So this reads -9 is less than 5. But I could also read it backwards, and I could say 5 is greater than -9. Okay, our last one here, we have 1 and -5. So I can see 1 is bigger. It's more to the right. So I open it up to the big side. 1 is greater than -5. You can read it backwards. -5 is less than 1. So we go forwards and backwards. The big side always opens up to the number that's more to the right on the number line. Okay, and we're going to put some numbers in order from least to greatest. So we're going to use our number line here. We're going to put them on there. So we have 7, so +7, -5. We have 6, -8, -2, and 4. I can use this information now to go least to greatest. So I'm going to start over here. The smallest one's on the left, right? Least is left. So I'm starting here and putting them in order all the way to the biggest one. So go ahead and in your examples, put those in order from least to greatest. All right, and to finish up, you need to write a note to yourself or draw a picture to yourself that's going to help you remember something about making inequalities. So I know I talked about several things. How do we read them? How do you read it backwards? How do we use a number line for it? So several ideas. So pick something that you feel like is really important to get in your ideas for your future self.